Ahead on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
We take a look back at some of our favorite stories from the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show in Nashville, Tennessee.
And now a special edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. The 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show was a record breaker. And today, we take you back to Nashville, Tennessee to share some of our favorite stories from that outstanding and memorable convention. Let's get started. It's hard to find a group happier that the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show is returning to Nashville than the Tennessee Cattlemen's Association. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Russell Nemitz gives us a closer look at the Tennessee cattle industry and its leadership.
You'll find Green Cattle Company just a short drive southwest of Nashville. Jerry Green is a fifth-generation rancher, and his family has been in the cow-calf business for more than 50 years.
We run about 160 cows, and about 30 of them being registered Angus cattle. And we run registered Angus bulls, performance-tested bulls on our herd. Been doing that for the last 25 years, and it's really worked out good for us. We've got a pretty good cow herd now by doing that.
Raising cattle is the #1 agricultural industry in Tennessee, and an average operation runs around 25 head of cattle. No matter the size, urban encroachment is an issue all of the area's ranchers deal with as the city of Nashville continues to grow.
Ground's pretty good to man here, and they seem to gobble up these farms, and they don't want cattle on them. They just want to have a kind of a prestigious, pristine kind of a deal, and they just rather come out and spend the weekend sitting on the back porch looking out over their property.
Jerry is not only a member of the NCBA, but he's also serving as president of the Tennessee Cattlemen's Association. It's something that keeps him busy both on and off the ranch.
Being the president of the Cattlemen's Association keeps you pretty busy, doing both, but I enjoy it. Really look forward to the next year and a half.
Their willingness to give up their time to do something they believe in, which is, work on behalf of the cattlemen in Tennessee, it's really unreal what all they're willing to give.
The Tennessee Cattlemen's Association was founded in 1985 and has about 6,000 members. The organization works to provide the cattlemen of Tennessee with a group through which they can work together to protect their interests and find solutions to cattle industry challenges.
We represent the cattle producers here in Tennessee and just try to make sure we have a voice where we can talk to folks about the cattle industry and try to, create some goodwill and make sure people understand exactly what it is we do.
Members of the Tennessee Cattlemen's Association are especially excited that the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show is making a return visit to Nashville.
I'm glad that NCBA decided to come back. It's a great place. Opryland is unique. It's a must-see event. If you're in the cattle business, there's no other place in the world that you can learn more than at the NCBA convention. It's one of the greatest things that ever has been. You'll see a lot of good people, and everybody there holds their hand out and shakes your hand. It's a good deal.
I wish the folks that have never been to convention, I hope they'll come and see it, because it's hard to explain what you benefit from being there until you experience it. There's so much to learn, so much to see. The fellowship with other cattle producers, it's just, I love going and talking to the folks from Kansas or Montana and learning about how they operate, and folks down in Florida and how they manage their cattle. So much fellowship there, and then the learning opportunities. You really get a feel for the industry. If you're in the industry and you really want to appreciate and learn what the future holds and be a part of it, you need to come to Nashville.
And many of Tennessee's cattle producers, like Jerry, are excited to show off their state once again. Reporting from Nashville, I'm Russell Nemitz for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Now, many of you made the trip to Nashville 2 years ago for the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show. But for some, this is an all-new adventure, and that includes the place you'll stay. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Sharon Alseth brings us a closer look at one of the largest and most amazing hotels you'll ever visit.
Once you check into the Gaylord Opryland Resort, don't expect to see the outside world for a couple of days. And why would you need to? This massive facility has more than enough amenities to satisfy the needs of any guest.
People are amazed just at the magnitude of this place. I mean, as one of the largest combined convention and resort hotels in the country, there's a lot to explore. So Gaylord Opryland Resort has 2,882 rooms, all on one campus. Inside our 9 acres of indoor gardens, you'll find more than 50,000 tropical plants. And we can't forget about our quarter-mile-long river inside our Delta Atrium. One of the amazing things about Gaylord Opryland is that we keep our atriums at 72 degrees year-round. So even in the middle of winter, it's a perfect tropical paradise.
The Opryland Hotel first opened in 1977 with 600 rooms and has expanded over the years into the massive multiplex it is today. Of course, country music is one of the first things people think of when they think of Nashville, and the Opryland Resort works hard to offer guests all the excitement and energy of the Music City under one roof.
Music City is what Nashville is known as, and we have tried really hard to bring that into the resort experience here at the hotel. One of the things that we hear from our guests all the time is how much they love our proximity to the Grand Ole Opry House next door. We also have live music at our Opry Backstage Grill. A lot of our restaurants here at the hotel offer live music. And you've got to head downtown, experience the Wild Horse Saloon, line dancing. It's an experience unto itself.
This is the largest non-gaming hotel facility in the continental United States, so finding your way around can sometimes be a challenge. Jenny has some useful advice to help you get around the hotel.
If you're visiting the hotel for the first time, one of the tips that I recommend is have some comfortable shoes. There is a lot of walking involved, and as we like to say around here, calories don't count at Opryland. You are going to get a bit of exercise going from point A to point B. And then another fun trick is that our map, you'll notice the colors of the carpet correspond with the color coding on the map. So for example, if you're in our Delta section, the carpets are red. If you're in the convention, the carpet centers are blue. It's a good little hint.
As you can imagine, the food is an important point to consider with a beef convention in town. Opryland chefs are hard at work making sure there are plenty of beef choices on the menus for the thousands of members of the cattle industry staying at the resort.
My team typically starts right around 2 o'clock in the morning for breakfast, and then goes all the way lunch and dinner, and then my second shift starts at 2 o'clock and they work until about 10 o'clock at night.
You'll be happy to know that beef is on the menu year-round, not just when the cattle industry comes to town.
We serve several hundred thousands of pounds per year of beef in general, just on our banquet side of the facilities. We do anything from braising, smoking, grilling, and pan searing. So for groups of 20 all the way up to 6,500. Beef is so flexible because you can fully cook it and cook it to the point where it's just awesome and tender, and then you can just pan sear certain cuts or put them on the char grill, and then it's perfectly cooked as well. It's so versatile.
Over the years, I cannot begin to tell you how many hundreds of thousands of pounds of beef that we have served to our customers. We have more than a dozen restaurants under one roof here, including our signature steakhouse, Old Hickory Steakhouse. And our banquet servers as well will be serving some amazing beef dishes while you're here.
With so much to see and do, as well as lots of space for meetings and the trade show, the Gaylord Opryland Resort is an ideal place for cattlemen and women to meet.
I think it's a lot of fun for us to have the cattlemen here at Gaylord Opryland. There's just a spirit and an energy that's here, having them under our roof and seeing the cowboy hats, the belt buckles. It's just so much fun for us.
Reporting from the Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Sharon Alseth for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
You're watching NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman on RFD TV.
We don't sit idle wondering how we're going to build a better truck. We get out there and walk a mile thousands of miles in the footsteps of the guys we build trucks for. The groundbreaking Ram Heavy Duty with 30,000 pounds of towing and 850 pound-feet of torque.
We stand for what we believe in. We believe in you. It's more than a job. It's your way of life. Who you are, where you live, and what you do. The way you treat your cattle, your family, your employees, and your neighbors. The water you drink, the air you breathe, and the ground you walk on. What you do every day gives families something to gather around every night. It's about doing what's right for your cattle, your land, your community, and your business. It's your livelihood, and it means as much to us as it does to you. We all believe in responsible beef. Let's stand together at responsiblebeef.com.
Join America's cattle industry for the 2014 Summer Conference in Denver, Colorado. It's a great opportunity to meet your fellow cattlemen and women, plus spend time planning for the future of your operation in our great industry. Bring the whole family and join us in Denver for the 2014 Cattle Industry Summer Conference, July 30th through August 2nd. For details, call 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us at beefusa.org.
This convention provides a great opportunity for cattlemen and women to catch up on all the latest news affecting the industry, and many were interested to hear more about McDonald's pledge to serve verified sustainable beef within the next few years. Joining us now on the set is Bob Langer. He's the Vice President of Sustainability for McDonald's. Bob, thanks so much for being on our show, and thanks for coming to the convention.
I love being here.
You know, this morning you shared a couple of very interesting statistics relative to the size of your customer base and your scale as a beef customer yourselves. Tell folks a bit about those statistics.
I think the first interesting statistic is that we serve now 70 million people a day. I mean, think of that. And then, so 70 million people a day across 119 countries. So our brand is big, it has a lot of influence. And we take that responsibility to serve these customers very seriously. And you know, our work on sustainability, interesting enough, it's consumer driven. You know, I want everybody to know this is not just some sort of small little effort being driven by some activist group. That's the last thing this is all about. This is about helping those consumers want to buy more beef. You know, our scope is big. On the other hand, another statistic is about our beef. Do you know that we have 5 burgers on our menu that are billion-dollar brands?
I was shocked by that this morning. That's an amazing, amazing statistic.
So we think sustainable beef is all about opportunity to build those brands, and why not have a 6th and 7th brand of beef to sell more beef? So the consumer drives everything we do. And if we satisfy the consumer and their interest in where beef comes from, how it's processed, all the issues related to people and planet and animals, we think they're going to be more interested in beef and buy more beef.
Absolutely. Now, sustainability is nothing new to McDonald's, and in fact, you have quite a bit of experience. Tell folks about some of your other sustainability initiatives.
Well, you're right about, you know, our work on beef really fits into a bigger picture of us being a socially responsible company. I mean, take a look at the menu changes we made in the last 10 years. Related to more salads, vegetables, fruit, apple slices, yogurt, oatmeal, whole grains. You know, by the way, none of this was on our menu prior to 2002, none of it.
Right.
If we didn't respond to that consumer with these nutritional changes, you know, our business wouldn't be growing the way it is. Take a look at the way we give back to the Ronald McDonald House charity. So sustainability is not only nutrition, sourcing, environment, but it's giving back to the community. And look at the people that deliver our food to the customers every day. You know that we have 1.8 million people that work for McDonald's.
That's amazing.
You know, serving those great tasting, affordable, safe, high quality burgers. And now part of the equation is let's bring sustainability to the customer.
You know, the one thing that I heard a lot of after you launched the press release about sustainable beef by 2016 was, what does sustainability mean? So how do you define beef sustainability?
I think that's the question. And when you say, how do we define sustainability, I will throw back the question to the audience. And I think that's the first challenge that we all collectively have to answer. By the way, we don't want a McDonald's definition of sustainable beef. We want this definition to be developed by producers, ranchers, processors, retailers. We want our competition to be at the table. That's why we've helped form a global roundtable for sustainable beef, where rational scientific thought can help define what's sustainable beef, so that we're all harmonized going after the same thing.
I think I know the answer to this question, but based on your presentation, it doesn't sound like you're interested in mandating specific production changes to make McDonald's sustainable beef, but tell folks what your thoughts are in that regard.
The last thing we want to do is mandate. Our corporate culture is the exact opposite. By the way, we have 5,000 owner-operators that own our business across the world. In the United States here, 90% of our restaurants are owned by independent owner-operators, by the way, that don't want to be told what to do. They're about as independent as your audience is.
Right. Right.
So no, we're not going to mandate, we're going to collaborate. This is all about working together. And it's about having a different mindset at sustainability. I think some are looking at sustainability maybe with fear, maybe with cynicism, maybe like, oh, what do we have to do?
Yeah.
Let's eliminate that.
Yeah.
This is not about fear, this is about opportunity. You know, we need to grow our business. We want to sell more burgers. We want to help the beef industry be successful. And our definition of sustainability that we're going to advocate for, not only is it good for people and the planet, it's good for the economic viability of the entire industry. Our business, the beef industry. Sustainability needs to be economically viable as well.
And so let's talk about potential impacts to beef producers here in the United States and abroad. How do you perceive this effort impacting our audience, those people who are out there on farms and ranches and feedlots producing the product that you serve every day?
Well, first of all, we want to work together and actually start purchasing sustainable beef that comes from verified sources by 2016. So what needs to do to get there? By the way, I often hear from producers and ranchers that I talk to that my business in my ranch and what I do is sustainable. And by the way, I believe that. So I believe we have a great base to come from. However, the challenge is we can't just say we're sustainable. We have to prove it.
Gotcha.
We have to measure it. We got to show data and statistics that show that. I really love the work that the National Cattlemen and Beef Association is doing on the life assessment work, showing how less water, less energy is being used to produce beef is fantastic information.
Yes.
Let's keep that going. Let's have more proof points. And let's show a way to define it so that customers like us can bring it to the customer.
Yeah, I love the comment of measure it, prove it, and then commit to improving it. And I think that's something we can all commit to.
We could always get better.
Absolutely. So tell us about the verification process. What do you anticipate the steps will be as you verify sustainable beef that you're going to sell by 2016?
I think we're going to see a lot of creativity and innovation as to how this is done. So I think the jury's out on that. All I can tell you is that there's a lot of different interesting models to look at to see what we can do in beef. By the way, in our restaurants today in the United States, we have verified sustainable fish sandwiches that come from the Marine Stewardship Council. All of our espresso coffee comes from Rainforest Alliance certified process. So who's going to be a third party that we work with? How is this all going to be developed? I think it's in the hands of all of us to work together.
So one last question. Summarize why you believe this is an effort that's important not only to McDonald's, but to beef cattle producers as well.
Because the consumer wants it, the consumer needs it, the consumer is dramatically changing. We cannot sit back, and we have to recognize that this consumer, their high expectations of us are enormous. They want to know where their food comes from.
Yep.
They want it to be responsible. They want proof points for planet, people, and profit. They're not going to just take storytelling anymore. Isn't the world transparent? all the stuff that goes on the internet. I think a lot of us are saying, hey, that's not good for business.
Right.
I say it is good for business. Let's use transparency, disclosure to show the great beef system we have and bring it to the consumer. So this is completely consumer driven. And I think what's going to benefit your audience and us is those 70 million people a day that are coming to McDonald's. Why not 80? Why not 90?
Right.
And they're choosing beef more often than ever. Yeah. It's going to benefit us, benefit the beef industry.
Absolutely. Well, on behalf of all beef cattle producers, I want to thank you for the huge customer you are to our industry and all you do to sell more of our product around the globe.
Well, thanks for this chance to talk to you.
Thanks for coming. If you're interested in investing in the future of our great industry, now's a perfect time to join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. It's easy. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us online at beefusa.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, I think a rancher has to be a steward of the land. There's nobody else that can take care of the land better than a rancher. When we switched over to the Purina products, it was a step in the right direction.
The difference we see in the cattle is the consistency of their nutrition.
The cattle hold their condition a lot better throughout the whole year.
It does make a difference that we can see, day in and day out.
When it comes to your land, it pays to be smart. At New Holland, smart means giving you a wide range of options to fit your needs, like smooth cutting, plug-free conditioning, and versatility. Smart means putting more hay in the bale and leaving less in the field. It also means providing exceptional after-sales support and growing a legacy that goes far beyond equipment. That's New Holland Smart. Visit your local New Holland dealer today.
Joining me now is Richard Gebhardt, the chairman of NCBA's Federation Division. Now, Richard, you're the chair of the Federation Division. Why don't you tell folks a little bit about what that job entails?
You know, Kevin, I think the key is to look at the title. And everyone knows what a chair is, but the key word in there is federation. And that's all about collaborating, coordinating, and everything. The other thing I work a lot with is in the operating committee, which kind of allocates part of the checkoff dollars with my counterpart, Weldon Wynn, who is the chairman of the Cattlemen's Beef Board. But I would tell you the chairman is all about building and strengthening that state and national partnership.
And when we send in our dollar from selling the cattle, tell us again, how is that dollar split?
That's one of the keys to the success of the checkoff, because, you know, we leave 50 cents, half of it down there with those state beef councils, and they have complete authority over that 50 cents. The other 50 cents comes up into the Beef Promotion Operating Committee to be allocated for more broad-reaching national programs. But the states have complete autonomy over that 50 cents. They can spend it into export markets, they can send it up to the Federation, and the Federation Executive Committee can decide to set it over there in the Operating Committee. There's a lot of flexibility with that 50 cents at the state, and that's one of the things I'm most proud of, is that local producer control of that half of that dollar.
You know, a moment ago you mentioned the state and national partnership. I hear a lot of people talking about that. Scott George talked about that yesterday. Why do you think that's so important?
I think it is, and I mean, sometimes we let those words flow off our lips too quickly. And we've got to make sure we always reach down to those producers and listen to them. You know, there's 750,000 of them out there. That is a big group to try to coordinate and listen to. So it's just imperative that we try to keep our ears down there with the cowboys and cattle women on the ground.
What some people may not be familiar with is that you all have had a new committee structure in place for about a year now. Tell us a little bit more about that and how that's working.
You know, that committee structure, first time we probably changed the committee structure in decades, I would say, and there was some growing pains in it. I'm most proud of the continuous improvement effort. We gave the committees, we listened to their feedback, and we'll listen to their feedback again at this convention, and made some improvements in that structure. But The big difference is it's directly tied to the demand drivers for beef. So it's not a silo effect, it's trying to reach out and touch those very important demand drivers.
And you've also done a few other things relative to changing how some of those funds are raised, right?
Yeah, well, you know, when we looked in the operating committee and we looked at an ever-increasing population in the world, forced influence, and a declining checkoff dollar, we thought it was important that we reach out there and make sure our strategy is right. And that's been about a 2 or 3 year process to look at this. And in this 50th year anniversary of the Federation of State Beef Councils, one of the things I'm most proud of the producers coming together is deciding on a change in the strategic direction, focusing on the millennial generation, and deciding to focus on just one means of several to deliver the message to them with a digital type approach. And most importantly, we are getting better at being data-driven in our resource allocation.
Very good. Well, congratulations on this 50th year celebration. More importantly, thank you for all you do to spend our money wisely and maintain that strong state-national partnership.
Well, you're welcome. And I want to tell you something. When I sit in Claremore, Oklahoma, it's great to watch this show.
Thank you, Richard. Please join Richard as a member of NCBA. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us online at beefusa.org. We'll be back with more from Nashville right after this.
Here, 21011. I'm at 210. Yes! Joe. Todd, how'd you do? Oh, not bad.
See what you have to gain at thelongrangelook.com.
The Case IH Summer Sales Event is going on now, meaning you can turn the heat into red-hot savings. That's because all Farmall and Maxim Series tractors, along with our complete line of hay tools, are available with 0% financing for 60 months. But hurry, because while the Summer Sales Event is just warming up, it only lasts until September 30th, 2014. For more information, visit your local Case IH dealer or go to caseih.com/special offers.
Welcome back. Joining me now is the chair of NCBA's Policy Division, Philip Ellis of Wyoming. Philip, thanks for coming to the show, and thanks for all you do relative to policy for NCBA.
Well, I appreciate it. I love the industry. Family rancher for several generations. It's our living, and so I'm glad to volunteer my time.
Well, let's get down to business. As you think about 2013, what are some of the key policy wins for NCBA over the last year?
We did have some policy wins that are important to us back on the ranch. The reauthorization of the DUFA, Animal Drug User Fee Act, by Congress and signed by the President in June. Important to the development of animal health products that we use every day on our family ranch. That was a big one. We had expanded trade access to Japan that enhances our markets, our global presence. We kept the meat inspectors working during the government shutdown. We're starting to forget that the government was shut down for 16 days, but the beef chain was not. Our cattle marketing went on as normal, and NCBA worked hard to keep that happening. We've had some movement in pushing forward on some Western lands issues, important out to where I ranch and to many of our members on the Grazing Improvement Act and the catastrophic fire legislation. And Kevin, there are some good things in the Farm Bill. There's permanent disaster relief. We kept EQIP in there and the conservation title enhanced. So there's some good things in the Farm Bill.
Well, let's talk about the Farm Bill. Obviously, we certainly didn't get the Farm Bill that we wanted. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say. We did not get the Farm Bill we wanted, and so the two priorities that we have developed over 3 years working on the Farm Bill, some language on GIPSA and some relief on mandatory country of origin labeling, were taken out of the conference report in the final days, and so we found we could not support the conference report, and it passed, but we just couldn't support it without our priorities in there. Yeah. So we are looking forward to how we can, in 2014, deal with those issues, their priorities to our members.
Very good. You know, some would say, hey, we've got a farm bill, we don't have an election pending next year. Why do you need a continual presence in Washington, D.C.? What would you say to that?
Well, first of all, out on my ranch, I'm working, I can't be there every day, but work goes on, for instance, on the farm bill every day. This farm bill, we began work on it 3 years ago with our lobbying team, with our state partners, with our volunteer leaders. And we worked on it every day. Our team in Washington was working on it every day with congressmen, senators, and their staffs. And beyond that, Kevin, there are regulations. Even if Congress is not doing much, there are regulations in EPA and just other agencies that we need a team there watching what's happening in government so we can keep productive on the ranch.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and appreciate, again, all you do. I think there's a lot of job security, right?
There's always something happening in Washington, D.C., and we need our presence there. As a volunteer leader, I am glad to be participating in the process and working with our team in D.C.
Very good. Philip Ellis. If you'd like to join Philip and other NCBA members in the fight to protect America's beef cattle industry, why not become an NCBA member? It's easy to do. Just visit the website, beefusa.org, or you can call us at 1-866-USA-BEEF.
There are many great things to see and do at the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show, and one of the most popular events is always Cattlemen's College. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Russell Nemitz takes a closer look at this event and why it's such a big hit among cattle producers.
Hundreds of cattlemen and women showed that you're never too old to learn something new by attending the 21st Annual Cattlemen's College. Participants heard from an outstanding lineup of industry experts during the course of 2 jam-packed days.
The importance of Cattlemen's College is it is cutting edge. You're not going to get access to these guys anywhere else in America. We've brought them all together. These are the top of the heap guys that these guys make the decisions in companies, corporations, ranches.
Cattlemen's College is the largest annually held beef producer education program in the country. The event, which is sponsored by Zoetis, is designed to help producers assess their operations and identify ways to become more efficient while producing beef for today's consumers.
Cattlemen's College is very special to us because we actually helped develop the idea 21 years ago. In fact, some of my colleagues at Zoetis are still there that helped develop Cattlemen's College. So we've always been very committed to producer education, helping them become better at what they do, helping them become more efficient, and in turn make more money so they can stay in business.
There were 5 concurrent classroom sessions, with each classroom having a specific area of emphasis, like resource management, animal management, ranch management, finance, and business and consumer relations.
Spent a lot of my time today in the consumer perception track of Cattlemen's College and really got a lot of great information about telling our beef story and really communicating the benefits of beef and making sure that it meets the mark with our consumer base.
Most of the sessions have been real informative. Some of the stuff is things we do already, but it's helped me to take another look at how we do it, or even the things that we're already doing that we already have in place. It's just a good reminder, and there's a lot of new information out that I'm getting from it that we can put in place in the operation that we're doing.
With so many different classes to choose from, it's hard to decide which sessions to attend. The good news is that Cattlemen's College participants can go online and check out the presentations they missed.
They paid the money. We want them to see all the presentations. So what we're going to do, we will email to you as an attendee a link. So it'll come to you as an email message. Click on the link, and then you can go to any one of the 16 presentations and sit at your leisure and watch those presentations.
It's a safe bet that these innovative and educational sessions will continue to be a highlight of the convention as cattle operators of every size and sector get the tools and tips they need to sustain and improve their operations.
And you can also learn how to do things maybe a little bit better. Maybe it reinforces what you're doing now, but encourage you to make a few minor changes in your management program.
We're trying to provide programs that keeps our ranchers informed, and that's the biggest part of what we're doing, trying to keep them informed of what's happening in the industry and how to position their farm or ranch so that they can remain sustainable and profitable for the next 5 or 10 years.
Reporting from Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Russell Nemitz for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
It's easy to attend next year's Cattlemen's College. All you have to do is register for the 2015 Annual Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show in San Antonio. To learn more, go to the website beefusa.org.
Your herd, your business, your family. You've always protected what matters most, so you know how important vaccinations are for healthy cattle. And with Vista vaccines from Merck Animal Health, you know you're covered. No other vaccine works like Vista. Only Vista gives you complete dual-action pneumonia protection and complete one-dose fetal protection for the entire pregnancy. Protect what matters most. Talk to your veterinarian or animal health supplier about Vista.
Hello, I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. Each week, we travel the country to bring you the latest cattle industry news and information. Check us out at cattlemantocattleman.org or on Facebook and Twitter.
This isn't a job, it's a calling. Your hard work helps feed the world. Being linked to those who care for the land is our calling. For more than 175 years, John Deere has been a proud partner of the cattle business. That's why we bring you special NCBA member discounts, so you can get the right equipment, strong, rugged, versatile, and ready to work hard. Talk to your John Deere dealer to learn more about your NCBA member discounts. John Deere, committed to the land, committed to your success.
We can't all run for office or travel to Washington, D.C. to speak with each representative or senator, but you can have an impact on the future of the industry by contributing to the NCBA Political Action Committee. And joining us now with a closer look into the NCBA PAC is former president and Illinois rancher Steve Fogelsong, who now serves as chairman of the PAC. Steve, thanks for coming back to the show, and thank you for your continued leadership here.
Well, thank you, Kevin. It's an opportunity to continue giving to the industry that's given us so much, so we really enjoy that opportunity.
Well, let's begin our discussion. Tell us about the goals of the NCBA PAC.
Well, our PAC committee has got some pretty lofty goals, and I guess first off you need to know that what we're really about is trying to get really good senators and representatives that understand our business, understand our way of life, and the conservative values that we got. We're trying to do everything we can to make sure they get elected and put into office. And the goal, the monetary goal for PAC is $1.25 million for this election cycle, which is, since the last election to the next election, which is coming up next fall. And it's a lofty goal, but we got really close to our goal last time, and we fully intend to get there this go-around.
Sometimes political donations seem like they just go into a black hole. How do these donations make a difference?
These donations matter because everybody that runs for office has got bills to pay, and they've got election expenses, and we help, when you give those dollars, they have the opportunity then to get rid of that debt. And that's the thing that it really does for us, is it gives us an opportunity to have access to those offices. And we give to those folks that are thinking about helping us, and we roll those dollars back to them, and it gives us a chance to get them in our office, get us into their office on a more regular basis.
Can you tell us specifically about some of the successes that have been generated by this PAC money?
No, absolutely. In the last election cycle, we won 85% of the races that we put money into. I think that's better than most everything that we do. And as cattle feeders and cow-calf guys, that's better than we do most every day. But we're really specific about what we attack. We put dollars directly into campaigns. We also take out ads in papers on specific races that we need to work against, and we'll try to have that effect as well.
And so how can folks donate?
Well, we've got a couple of deals. I mean, you can direct donate, and you can just write a check to NCBA PAC. I think we can take up to $5,000 on a per individual basis, and we'll take numbers that big or much smaller. Right. The other thing that we've got going on, we've got a PAC auction that we have that's ongoing all the time, and one of the most unique things that we've got as cattlemen, we control a tremendous amount of property. We've got great access for hunting, fishing, camping, those sorts of things, brandings, you name it. If a guy's got something going on and he thinks, there's folks out there that might be interested in participating, we're asking those folks to package that up, and we'll put you on our website. We're gonna talk about your ranch. We're gonna talk about what you're doing. If you've got a commercial operation going on, you're gonna donate a hunt, for instance. We're gonna talk about that on that website as well, and then put it out there and give folks an opportunity to bid on that and put those dollars into PAC dollars. So you can give cash or in kind. We'll take either one, but ultimately our goal, is to really get this PAC dollar goal pushed over the finish and get some really good people elected to Congress.
Absolutely. Well, it's an important goal, and thank you for your leadership.
I appreciate it.
To learn more about NCBA PAC and the current PAC auction, visit beefusa.org. You'll find a wide variety of exciting travel and merchandise to bid on, and the funds go to support NCBA's work in Washington, D.C. Now, you must be a member to contribute to the NCBA PAC, so don't wait. Join today. There were lots of winners here at the Cattle Industry Convention in Nashville, but one young lady stood out with an outstanding singing talent. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Russell Nemitz had a chance to visit with her.
Well, as we continue our coverage from the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show here in Nashville, Tennessee, we're at one of the general sessions, and Miss Riley Worth from Ellis, Kansas just rocked the place in front of thousands and thousands of people. Riley, you just sang the national anthem here at the Cattle Industry Convention. Talk about that experience out there on the stage just a few minutes ago.
Well, it was exciting that I got to sing in front of thousands of people, and I'm happy that I have the ability to sing and the gift to sing.
Now, when did you start deciding you kind of like to sing in front of people and decided to sign up for this competition that the NCBA had to be able to sing the national anthem here at the Cattle Industry Convention?
Well, when I was little, I always sang at church and at the racetracks and stuff, and so we decided that I should maybe try to do some contests and stuff, and so then we signed up for this one, and then we made it, and it was really exciting.
Yeah, I was going to say, there was quite a few people that signed up for this opportunity, Riley. When you found out you had been selected, talk about that experience.
Well, I was really excited when I found out that that I won, because there was like thousands of people that tried out, and for me to be only 12 and to make it, it was just exciting.
All right, so you were telling me that you're in 6th grade and you're 12 years old, and you come from a farm and ranch. Talk about how the ag industry plays a role as a 12-year-old with some of your classmates, and why you like farming and ranching so much.
Well, I get to show cattle and cattle and pigs, and so that gets to kind of spreads the word about me. Like we go to state fair and stuff, and we show there, and so I've been able to sing at some of those places.
So do you have any future aspirations when it comes to singing beyond what you're doing right now?
Not really. I just kind of wanna get through junior high and high school and see where it goes after that.
Hey, you did a fantastic job out there. Give me 5. Ladies and gentlemen, Riley Worth from Ellis, Kansas, who just rocked the house here at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel with her national anthem rendition at one of the general sessions. Reporting for Cattleman to Cattleman, I'm Russell Nemitz.
Thanks, Russell. A reminder, the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show is set for next February 4th through the 7th, 2015, in sizzling hot San Antonio, Texas. You can find out more at beefusa.org.
I'm Sheila Angela Carges. This is my husband Brock. We have 2 girls, Karina and Jessica. Both girls can pull cattle, doctor, process anything that we need them to do.
Using products that help keep the calves healthy, it helps my parents to be less stressful, it helps them to be at home more, and it helps pay more bills when you don't have to worry about sick cattle.
I'd say 99% of our cattle are high risk.
We've never seen a response due to a metaphylaxis like we have with the Draxxin. I think Draxxin has a major role in any operation as far as your viability and your long-term outlook.
And how do you quantify having a peace of mind to take a vacation for a week or leave work early to go watch a basketball game? You can't quantify that.
Important safety information for Draxxin. Draxxin has a pre-slaughter withdrawal time of 18 days. Do not use in dairy cattle 20 months of age or older. Effects on reproductive performance, pregnancy, and lactation have not been determined.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new VetGun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The VetGun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it from an ATV, on horseback, or just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML VetCap is used with the VetGun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. VetGun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
Dang it. Galen and his partner Dave loaded their prize bull in Galen's stock trailer, being pulled by Dave's big diesel. They had to rewire the trailer so the lights would work, of course. Mort came along behind him in his old 3/4-ton pickup with no plates and piled with junk. They were headed for the Fort Worth Stock Show. Swinging by the tire store, they found a big lag screw sticking out of Mort's right front tire. Meanwhile, while maneuvering the diesel to gas up, Dave ran over a curb and sliced a sidewall on Galen's trailer. Cost him almost $600 just to get out of town. Somewhere in the Ozarks, Mort's truck began knocking. He checked and they found a dry dipstick. At the next truck stop, they bought a case of oil for good luck. Well, things went smooth till twilight when Dave turned on the lights and the brakes locked up. It took another 2 hours of rewiring the rewiring to make it work. Well, close to midnight, they took a pit stop to add oil. Well, the old truck wouldn't start back up. The gauges looked good, but it wouldn't catch. They ran the battery down trying to jump it until Galen noticed a little toggle switch. He flipped it, and it started. It had 2 gas tanks, of course. Well, they were running late. Dave was pushing the diesel and making 85 miles an hour. Mort and Galen were keeping up until the big explosion. Smoke filled the cab. It was a miracle Mort stayed on the road. They bailed out and then parked the wreck on the highway and climbed in the diesel with Dave and finally made it to Fort Worth in the middle of the night. Well, the boys were pretty shaky, but they managed to unload the prize bull at the tie-outs and headed for the motel. Next morning, things looked better in the light of day. "Yes, sir," said the optimistic Dave. "We had a few setbacks, but I got a feeling our luck is going to change. You two go feed our blue ribbon bull, and I'll go check us in." Well, the positive attitude was contagious. "Let's go get our star," said Galen, patting Mort on the back. 20 minutes later, Dave returned. He had lost his jaunty demeanor. Unfortunately, he had forgotten to make their entries. This is Baxter Black from out there.
This business can take time away and become more of your family than your actual family. My days were tough. I had a lot of doctoring, a lot of pulling. Now our days on the feed yard are happy days. It's more about looking at the cattle and enjoying what we're producing versus the alternative, which is pull and treat and bang our head against the wall. We have never wavered from Draxxin. We've seen the benefits just keep getting better and better.
Hi there, I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory, and welcome to our farm outside Nashville, Tennessee. When we go to work, whether it's on tour or here at home, we wear the West.
That's right. Whether it's that perfect snap shirt or that perfect pair of boots, when you wear Roper, you wear the West.
Learn more about us, Joey and Rory, and about Roper Western Wear at eroper.com.
Telling the truth and being real and feeding my family a home-cooked meal. That's important to me. That's important to me. And planting the garden and watching it grow.
It's the official monthly publication of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. The National Cattleman is produced exclusively for NCBA members and includes coverage of the news and events affecting our industry. From Capitol Hill to the far side of cattle country, the National Cattleman provides information NCBA members need. Every issue includes market analysis, feature stories, and practical management tips. Start receiving your copy of The National Cattleman. Call 866-USA-BEEF or go online to beefusa.org and join today.
Welcome back. Have you ever wondered how a big event like the NCBA trade show with 300 exhibitors and over 6 acres of exhibits gets set up? Let's see how it's done. That wraps up this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week right here on RFD TV.